Let's move that over to the other screen and turning this down. Because it's a little loud in my ears. I probably don't have to be that quiet through a Pokemon game's intro cutscene. Like, okay, there's going to be some music. Cool. There's no dialogue for me to worry about. Which will tell you how much I remember about Pokemon Platinum, period. Except basically, oh wow, hey, do you know all these characters they kept bringing back in all these other later games for years? Because Looker is here, and Cynthia also. This dude doesn't show up ever again, though. Actually, that's not true. Cyrus exists in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because of the Team Rainbow Rocket scenario. Right? I'm pretty sure he does. As I now sort of realize, wait, did he not? I actually don't remember. Anyway, we are playing a randomizer of Pokemon Platinum, which... Platinum is definitely the mainline Pokemon game that I've played the least, accounting for the fact that for some of the pairs I haven't played both games. But honestly, there's the fact that they are even trying to make them different nowadays. I mean, at least that's vaguely commendable, but they're kind of not. It's revenue enhancement schemes, everybody. That's all there is to that. So, we're gonna dig into this. I've always kind of felt that Platinum is not great, because I don't really like the Gen 4 games very much, period. And I don't know that Platinum fixes all of the Diamond Pearl issues well enough to make it good. Of course, one thing that it does fix is the visibility of where the tiles you get stuck in that fucking swamp are, but also Pokemon availability. And we're going to fix that even more thanks to randomization. And by fix, I presumably mean that I'm going to have screwed it up somehow this way. We're also playing with fastest text speed, because, of course, we are. Oh, right, touchscreen features. Look at this guy and his tiny-looking horse compared to him. That's us. Well, we're playing as a girl, but I guess that's us. As always, the select which you are between boy or girl is a little bit goofy in terms of how it's... Because this guy is telling us that, like, what? Is it a tape recording or anything like that? So good on them for later instances where they changed it to be clearly not that. We can give a new name, or we can just call him Roy, I guess. Or Gavin. Like Gavin Newsom, that guy sucks. Got to come in here and find a suitable name for dicks or something. They Yeah, Roundy, pretty much. That's a fair assessment. Grundle. It's funny because I might like completely forget that and just be like, wow, that's a... Somebody really goofed up on naming that, right? Anyway, here's a fun story, is that among the tiny amounts of changes that they made for the re-release of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch consoles, they include a censor list now for names. You know, so that way we can have the classic situation of not being able to trade Frostlass or Cough Egregious without nicknaming them. Cough Egregious being one of the very small number of things that I can say offhand where I can determine the exact type of person you are based on how you pronounce it. But yeah, they added the censors in there because, I mean, to be fair, online trading didn't exist in Gen 3 originally, so they got to bring them up to the standards of the later games, right? So that way nobody can send Pokemon that are named fuck or anything like that. No more naming my mon Scunthorpe. Yeah, exactly. But on the other hand, it is kind of like, you did that, and then there's all these other things that you didn't. And then XD Gale of Darkness can't transfer shit to Pokemon Home also. Right? Come on, guys. What are you doing? Come on, guys. Don't copy that floppy. Wait. And yeah, Grundle, exact spaces. Good old 7-letter name limits. Even this late, I mean, come on. By now, at least bump it up to 12 for Pokemon names and, like, 8 for people names. So that way, if you happen to have a long name like Severina or something, you're not going to get fucked by one letter there. Or, I don't know, some boy's name. What's a nice long... I keep being about to, like, throw out a magic lore name, and then it's just like, oh, by the way, that's 1 letter short. I almost was about to say, what if the boy is named Slowbat or something? But no, Slowbat is 6 letters, so I can't do that. Spice 8 Rack is going to be so fucking pissed. Guy who does... Guy, parentheses, non-gender related, who doesn't listen to... Jebediah, there you go. That way anybody who's named Jebediah has to shorten it down to just Jeb. Preferably with an exclamation point. That's right, these references are so fresh, please clap. Anyhow, you want narration? Where's my narration? Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito? Pokemon are by our side always. I hope you will understand the meaning of those words. What about any of the previous words before, which were... Oh, right. Those are all things from the Super Leak from years ago. How many gens are covered in this rando? It's just Pokemon up to Gen 4. As far as I know, Universal Pokemon Randomizer cannot add more Pokemon from the future yet. And if that's not true, well, then I'm a fool. But I think that would probably require a lot of, like, graphics work and stuff. So, you know, the The only extra graphical stuff that you can do with the current version that I have, which is Universal Pokemon Randomizer VFX, I want to say 1.4.2a. Yes, 1.4.2a for UPR VFX. The only custom graphic stuff you're allowed in that is choosing a Gen 3 trainer for your trainer sprites in Gen 3. And even then, you're only permitted to choose from the ones that exist already, so nothing custom. Anywho, enough of me referencing that stuff from I think it was called the Terra Leak, the big one that made everybody into, like, the least funny... This is probably going to be, like, I can't say it turned every Pokemon fan into the least funny comedian you've ever seen on social media, because they already were whenever the subject of Vaporeon was broached. I think I tried to say broach and breach there, and I screwed up. Whenever the subject of Vaporeon came up, and then they just added Typhlosion to their list of quote-unquote greatest hits. God, it's like trying to listen to a classic rock station. And I would say, except with less, sex crimes, but some of those songs can be pretty bad sometimes. Anyway, that was the comment left by Professor Rowan, who has returned to Sinnoh from the Kanto region. I hope he brought me a pet Aerodactyl or something. Then Imagine Dragons... Oh, God. Oh, Christ. Radioactive is pretty old, isn't it? So... That's right. You can hear that at a... I almost said Buffalo Bills. I meant Buffalo Sabres. Pardon me. Oh, and Grundle is out here running way up the stairs. So if we ask him, I bet he'd give us some Pokemon. Are you sure about that? Oh, hey, is this a new PC? Holy shit, how can you afford it with the RAM prices? Where was I? Oh, right. We're going to go see Professor Rowan and get some Pokemon. I'll be waiting outside. Okay, Delia, if you're late, I'm fining you 10 million P. Bruh. Oh, he sucks. So, the standards for Pokemon rivals are not high. But, like... I kind of feel that the rivals basically in this sort of era were kind of suck. Yes, listen to me. I'm not a big fan of the Gen 3 rivals, and then the Gen 4 rivals are just like... Gen 1, I mean, Gary Oak, we all know Gary motherfucking Oak, right? And then Gen 2 had Shadow the Hedgehog, or whatever his name is. The guy who was like, I don't have to care about my Pokemon. They're strong. Your Pokemon are weak. Ugh. Yeah, 3 question marks. Canonically named Silver, but not to be confused with that Hedgehog. Although, on the other hand, I do kind of imagine him having that sort of annoying, reedy voice of, like, that he would absolutely just sound like, it's no use! I can't do that voice anymore. I'm congested, so that probably is making it worse. And yet I still recorded a video this week, hell yeah. Anyway. So, this guy kind of sucks. The Gen 3 rifle is a huge nothing burger. Oh wow, a Wii. I have one of those by my desk. It has custom firmware, which this one probably doesn't because Nintendo would not approve. Can we just go back to bed? No. The Gen 5 rivals are a little bit hit and miss. Oh, also, if you just walk up to a sign like that, and you just press in the direction, now it will automatically read it for you. That is a new Gen 4 feature. Wesley. Imagine being named Wesley. Also, this is before Gen 6 when our mom actually became a real character, so don't go into the tall grass. Wild Pokemon might attack you. It'd be okay if you had your own Pokemon, but you don't, so do you have one I can borrow or something then? Oh, hey, look at this pile of snow on the ground. At least I assume it's supposed to be snow. It could be ash or something, but I don't think there's anything around here that gives off that much ash. Not even the heaviest smoker in town that you know. I think he went home. And his name is on the mailbox, which is always a little bit silly. Like, they put the kid's name on the... Yeah, and this guy just runs around and is annoying. And rams into you because he's a careless buffoon. What was that about? Oh, hey, Delia. Hey, I'm going to see Professor Rowan. You should come too, and quickly. Oh, geez. Forgot something. Put the letter stickers on. It just says... Wow, okay. He takes after... way too much caffeine. Oh, hey, Delia. I'll be waiting on the road. It's a 10 million P fine if you're late. What's with this guy and wanting to be like a tax collector? What kind of kid has that sort of an ambition? That kind of a shitty ambition. Jeez, man. Hey, Gremlin. Too slow. You're too slow! Well, I guess we know which Sonic character he is. Alright, let's get moving to Prof. Rowan's lab. ... But don't go into the tall grass, right? No worries, no problem. It doesn't matter that we don't have any Pokemon. Trust me on this one, I've got an idea. Now listen, you know how wild Pokemon jump out when you go into the tall grass? So what you do is, you scoot over to the next patch of grass before any wild Pokemon can appear. Shut up, nerd! You don't know the mechanics of this world, do you? If we just keep dashing, we can get to Snag'em Town without running into wild Pokemon. And you might be saying, that says Sandgem Town. Yes, it does. I did that on purpose. I made a joke about it yesterday. It was a foreshadow. Okay, stick with me. Okay, here goes. On your marks. Hold it! Objection! Wait. You two don't seem to have any Pokemon between you. Then what is the meaning of going into the tall grass? Did the Pokemon never come out of the grass past that? ... Hey, Delia. This old guy. It's Professor Rowan, isn't it? What's he doing here? They tried to go into tall grass because they wanted Pokemon. What to do? Their world would surely change if they were to meet Pokemon. Is it right for me to put them on that path? Now hold on just a second here! Isn't the overarching, like, thing with all of these games that Pokemon are just, like, a major endemic part of the world? What the fuck are you talking about? Do we not know what a Pokemon is at this point? You two, you truly love Pokemon, do you? Well, apparently we don't know what the fuck they are, but sure. Me too. I love Pokemon too. I will ask you once again. You two, you truly love Pokemon, do you? What? You can ask 100 times. The answer will never change. We'll both answer 100 times. We love Pokemon. I might say it in a different language after a little while, just out of getting stuck in too much of a loop, but hey. Right, Delia? Yeah. A pair of reckless kids who foolishly try to enter tall grass without Pokemon of their own. It worries me what people like that would do with Pokemon. Well, then forget about me, but give a Pokemon to my friend here. I mean, it was me who tried to go into the tall grass and all. Exclamation point! How big of you? Very well, then. I will entrust you two with Pokemon. I apologize for putting you through that exercise. However, you must promise me that you will never recklessly endanger yourselves again. Oh, absolutely not, sir. Now then. Now, where... Professor Rowan! You left your briefcase behind at the lake! Is something wrong here? Ah, there it is. Lucas, nice work. What I was about to do was to entrust these two with their own Pokemon. What? Those Pokemon are crucial. You're giving them away? We exist side by side with Pokemon. There comes a time where people should meet Pokemon. This is a world that should be explored together. For them, today is that time. The place, right here. Mostly because there's not much of anywhere else that we could go without shoving them through a bunch of this grass. I'm old and I cannot throw them up that ledge. Go on, open the briefcase and choose a Pokemon. Really? Professor Rowan? Movement to make crucial positive slang to... So, this is going to be like maybe an odd thing to bring up. It just made me think about the end credits role of the cast of characters and everything from Donkey Kong Country 3, where it does refer to the Kong family, you know, because all of them are like, oh, well, we've got some sort of alliterative sounding title for all of these subgroups as the crucial Kongs. So I do sort of associate that a little bit. But yeah, I'd be okay with that. I can't believe it. I'm so happy now that I can't keep a straight face. Hey, Delia, you can choose first. Oh, he knows survival ambush strategy, eh? Hey, I'm practically a grown-up. I have to show some class here. Yeah, from the kid who was literally just about to go run through the grass, right? Arrogant bastard. Anyway, let's take a look at what Pokemans we have in this briefcase. This extremely briefcase. We've got Clamperl, the bivalve Pokemon. That would be probably a bit of an issue because who knows if we'd be able to evolve it. Finding the items would be a complete crapshoot. Excuse me. Pig monkey Pokemon, Mankey. I mean, Primeape is alright. Unfortunately, there's no Annihilape, but let's see what our third option is here. Beautiful. Oh, they're really giving us a really classy trio here of garbage, and decent. Well, I'm taking the Mankey. Then I choose you. I'm picking this one. Very well. Both of you have chosen a good Pokemon, it seems. Now, listen well. The Pokemon you have been entrusted with are unfamiliar with the world. In that regard, they're much like you. Especially you, Blondie. As fellow newcomers to the world, I hope you'll do well together. If you have any trouble, come see me at my lab in Sandgem Town. And now, we'll be on our way. Professor, wait for me! Sorry, folks. Just a suggestive I mean, that would be very funny. How do you like that? Professor Rowan's really nice. On TV, he seems so stern and scary. He seems quite loud. As this kid's just got ants in his pants constantly. Delia, we've both got Pokemon now. There's only one thing to do, right? Are you up for this? No. What's with that attitude? Don't be that way. My conversation loops now, and my voice is starting to sound a little bit more robotic, accidentally. Drowsy's full of tramp engines. They do have an ant Pokemon now. Well, they did in Gen 5, Durant. Not to be confused with Kevin Durant. They're foot-long ants covered in iron armor. That seems like it would be a bit of a problem to see a massive, like, tidal wave of those things. But anyway. Durant. Wow, shut up, nerd. This shithead saw the CD I got this week. Wow. Anyway. I've always wanted to say this. The time has finally come. Delia, I challenge you to a battle. All right, let's see what moves we got on Mankey here. As he chose the butterfly for some reason. I guess technically it's fully evolved, but it's not. Oh god, speaking of not good, first of all, this like dual layer font looks like balls. And second of all, we have Sharpen, Pin Missile, Revenge, and Egg Bomb. Ooh, boy. We're about to have a bad time. Well, it's a good thing that I'm not Nuzlocke ruling, especially not yet. But we're going to Egg Bomb some. And bro gets Leaf Storm to start with. Holy shit in a handbasket. Also, we're like speed tied, apparently. Yeah, so that's our level of quality we're working with here. Fine, you can have my lunch money, I guess. You always wanted to be a tax collector for some fucked up reason. I won. But that battle, it could have gone either way. It was pretty close. I can tell you one thing. Battling is awesomely fun. Okay, let's go home. I'm beat after that battle. My Pokemon needs rest too. I'm not going to even talk about the fact that I done fucked up. Well. I sure hope not. We got some running shoes, hooray. But I think we already had those, basically. Press the B button and be on your way. Technically, we had them already because of reasons. Blake. Genuinely, kid, you are insane. And just a little bit stupid. Lake Verity ahead. According to legend, this lake is home to the Pokemon said to be the being of emotion. It is because of this Pokemon that people can experience sorrow and joy. If you say so. Buddy, I don't think you even own any Pokeballs. Come on. The flowing time, the expanding space. I will make it all mine one day. Cyrus is my name. Remember it. Till then, so this guy. Until then, sleep while you can. Legendary Pokemon on the lake bed. This guy is such a. He is Sephiroth posting so hard already. Allow me to pass. Step aside. I forgot this game sucked this much. Yeah, it is kind of like a little bit ridiculous, to put it nicely. We've hit a point by this era where legendary Pokemon have gone from just being kind of like big and strong to being outright gods. After we had Kyogre and Groudon and Rayquaza in the previous generation. And the Regis being, well, the Reggie lore just kind of changes all the fucking time. Because before, I think it was sort of implied that they were supposed to be like semi-deities of materials. And then Reggie Gigas came along and it's like, oh yeah, Reggie Gigas was the actual creator of the world? Question marks? After all of the other like, oh yeah, by the way, this is the same generation that includes Arceus. I may have the lore slightly wrong on Reggie Gigas, but basically that the previous 3 Reggies were golems that it carved out of these 3 materials. And then in Gen 8, they're like, oh, by the way, they all sort of represent various time periods. Like, oh, the Reggie Drago represents the time of the dinosaurs, and Regice is the Ice Age, and Regirock is something I don't remember, and Registeel represents the more modern times. You see, the fact that it's doing the fact that in that one sprite it was doing what looked like a Heil Hitler was actually a reference to a piece of work by John Hartfield that had all these people sitting around a dinner table eating metal. Obviously, they didn't say that. This is me making an extended joke to something that like maybe one person would understand offhand. And Reggie Elicki is the future or some shit. I don't remember the exact lore, obviously. But just the fact that they shift things around with that. Granted, Pokemon lore is absolutely just Calvin Ball in general, and it would make more sense for them all to be like myths. Oh my god. This kid is so stupid, by the way. You know, Pokeballs. P-O-K accent E. Balls. Balls. Anyway. You think Professor Rowan would give us some if we asked him? No, he'd be like, get away from me, kid, you bother me. Those things ain't cheap. Does he look like he's got 1000p to give every random child who enters his zone here? Hey, random encounter on our first step into a grass tile. Oh, hey, look, it's a Pokemon that would be better than our starter, probably. Fuck's sakes, dude. I'm using Pin Missile because it actually has accuracy. Unlike Egg Bomb, which is 70% accurate, I think. I mean, granted, this doesn't do much damage. I mean, or it wouldn't for 4. Oh, okay! I just wanted to go check the blank tile and see if there was a hidden item there. I don't think I checked off the turn off broken moves button, which usually one would want to do, but I was like, okay, those will be fine later. I would, on the other hand, prefer to be able to switch them off for like a certain amount of levels, but I think the randomizer doesn't exactly have what you would call a feather touch. So I guess we're kind of boned there. Oh, hey, it's Mareep. Look at the funny yellow sheep using follow me. Well, unfortunately, you were going to get turned into giblets anyway, champ, but hey. Wow, only 2 hits. Good job, Mankey. And we got poisoned. Wow. All right. And this is why I'm not Nuzlocking this. is because of horse shit like that. Randomizers do tend to result in a lot of situations where you just get given a rough time. Oh, hey, that's almost something that fits for a starting area, but it is also usually not fully evolved like that. Ah, yes, this is when they introduce the thing where poison just gets removed once you hit 1 HP on the field. Wow, this kid's here. Yeah, get out of my story, dude. I want to go heal because my weird monkey got damaged. Major Pokemon evolve. I haven't? Why did you say that? That's weird. So anyway, I am going to put forward a singular rule for this randomizer, which is that I'm allowed to capture one Pokemon per area outside of stuff that's on the field. So basically, if we get to like whatever dungeon has a big legendary in it, we can capture that. Although I'm probably not going to use it under most circumstances. Actually, wait, no, we're not required to capture any of these legends for story reasons, so screw it. One Pokemon max per area. It doesn't have to be the first one, because we know how that can be. And also, I'm not nuzlocking it because, you know, I don't want to re-roll the ROM if I run into an instant death trap at some point. Anyway, we're telling this guy that we're absolutely going to find information on all the Pokemon in Sinnoh, but that is highly unlikely. That's kind of a lot, actually. So, yeah. Excuse me. Anyone else here got anything special to say? A professor from the Kanto region? Wow, who could that be? Are you not allowed to say his name due to non-disclosure agreements or something? That stuff's a load of shit. Ooh, TM27. It is reusable, but I don't know what it is. It contains the move Supersonic. Yeah. Classic randomizer. Your TMs are probably all going to be shit in this, right? The TM is single use only. Not with what I've done with the rando. Thank you. Yes, the Force tutorial. As we get told that this building with the red roof while looking at something that's clearly orange. It's like the inverse of what happens in Advance Wars. I was like, what game? Yeah. Hey, can I buy some doodads here? Anyway, yes, heal my one Pokemon, my extremely low-level monkey that just gets turned into giblets by everything because it's the weakest Pokemon in the area for some reason. At this point, I'm assuming that I would have been best off taking the Clamperl. And that's kind of sad. Oh, hey, Ninetales, this might actually be good. And whatever it's got, I hope I like it because I will never be able to change those moves. It's got Aura Sphere, so that's pretty nice. And Psychic. Ooh. I'm surprised that didn't just straight up kill us. Well, get in here. I hope this works, otherwise I'm about to have a bad time. It did. No nickname for it, but that's fine. I'm okay with capturing that as our one Pokemon for the zone. Oh yeah, our Pokemon do have items attached, right? The Razor Claw. That's actually a really good item if I recall correctly. Red Flute, not so much. The Nidalee. Thank you, Roundy, for your choice of pronunciation. Yeah, see, Mankey can get some... Could have got some crit rate up. What's this? Snaps a single Pokemon out of Infatuation. That's actually alright. Anyway, because we're in such dire straits here, that one Pokemon was caught and now I need to go heal. But Sludge is fine. Aura Sphere, Psychic, Metronome. It's got some good shit, actually, considering. Like, Sludge is kind of meh, but I'm actually going to pull up the move data here. Oh, I got to go to the check moves button, right. Yeah, 65. That's not super powerful, but pretty good, all considered. That was still just like, hey, a free Pokemon that can stomp things pretty good. Grass Knot. Why couldn't you have just done that twice, dude? I can't believe we didn't get that with 2 Psychics, but I guess we are a 1 level lower. I'm not using Revenge because we would have to take a hit to actually get that to do anything. I'm just going to walk from this. I want to go heal again. Come on. Yeah, I know, right, Tav? Shaking my SMH. It's okay. I got it in a Wonder Trade. Or something. Anyway, my actual goal right now is to go over to Verity Lakefront and see if I can capture something over there. Hey, Torterra! How's it going, champ? Unfortunately, I can't capture that thing. Shadow Sneak, though. I mean, a move like that would probably fix Bro's problems pretty heavily. Yeah, no surprise this thing is taking a while, because it is quite a beefy Pokemon. Yeah, 2 damage seismic toss. Oh, wow, I haven't had the game sound on for... Well, that's good job on my part, because I just got frozen. Wow. Great timing. Good job. Good job. I've been running this stream for like an hour, and you just now noticed. Also, yeah, the rando is out here throwing me the goofy shit, as usual. Hey, nice miss there, Mankey King. Mankey Kang. Where's my level up jingle? That's weird. Is it skipped because I have it on like super turbo text speed? Oh, coughing. That's slightly more reasonable to encounter at this era. Now, do I sit here and try to unthaw? I can get it in one turn. And that's what I say to everybody who's like, oh, well, freeze is broken. Not more so than sleep. Actually, to be honest with you, since freezing is completely luck, and it doesn't have any sort of, like, duration cap or anything, it can get kind of unpleasant. Which, of course, means that if you're trying to if you're trying to freeze something, it will break out immediately. Yo, what? I think we just ran into it. Okay, so it's apparently randomizing the battle music too? Or is it because Apom is in the place of one of the legendaries or something? Either way, we get the fucked up nightmare music for some reason. Cool, I don't even know what... I don't know offhand which random boss that corresponds to. But it's always fun to get, like, a couple of measures of Metroid 2 music in there. But remastered. The randomizer does a bunch of very goofy things sometimes, you know? Is there a hidden item here? No. There is not. It looked like a great spot for it, though. Let's see what we can find here at Verity Lakefront. We can find a beaver. And it's got download, I guess. Ah, yes, here's Rampardos. Rampardos. Pokemon that would almost be cool if only it could ever get a move in edgewise. Because it has a lot of power. I'm short. Yeah. That's not inaccurate to the level of, like, impressiveness of this creature. Don Pardos is not doing anything impressive anywhere. Gyarados! There he is. It's got Trace as an ability. That's interesting. Here, let's make sure we don't kill this thing. Yep. That's a much longer animation than I expected. For camouflage there. It does have Slash, however. I mean, this is probably a pretty good weird snake thing. And by that I mean evolved Magikarp. All right, let's get a better look at our Pokemons here. Got a quirky nature, so that's balanced stats. Modest nature. Ooh, Mankey, you are going in the box and you're never coming back, I think. I hate to say it, but oh boy, you have an ability that gives you evasion in a hailstorm, which in this generation may not even take away damage from hail. And you've got a starting learn set that looks like this. And you have a nature that reduces your attack in favor of your special attack. Bruh. Liquid Ooze for Ninetales, which is vaguely helpful. Careful Nature, which I don't remember what that is offhand. Excuse me, I have to assume it's one that's not our preferred, but it will do. Meanwhile, Gyarados got Trace, neutral stats, nature, and only Steel Wing and Slash for starting attack moves, but I mean, the other options, maybe in the future we'll get something good. Maybe we'll actually pick up a TM that doesn't suck eggs. That would be impressive. I mean, yeah, I guess it probably is, Irene. You're correct. You're not wrong. And this thing's got a priority move. In theory, that could have been useful, but I like the catch that we got here instead. We picked up Ninetales, and it's got great moves. At least a couple of them. go and heal up, and... make our way. There's no catch spots here, are there? But there is an item on the ground. We got a nest ball. That's probably not the best Pokeball we could ask for, but hey. It will do, I guess. Lucas is just out here like, you didn't tell your family about that. Well. Oh, okay. Fine. This guy apparently knows I didn't tell my family. And by family, I mean mother, because Pokemon protagonists basically don't have fathers. It's... like, offhand, I think only the Gen 3 trainer has a father that you ever actually see out of the player characters. Will I? Do I have to? Take him as parcel. Can I just, like, open it? Oh yeah, here's another Apom. For some reason, the game is just like, by the way, this is going to have legendary encounter stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but that's a randomizer for you. It's a little bit weird. Houndoom is probably also a pretty decent selection on Route 1. But our Ninetales is fine. Fine-ish. But we're just coming in here and... doing a quick heal before we go back to... telling Lucas that yes, we have actually talked to our... we have actually told our mother about our Pokemon journey. Now, thank goodness there's some speed hacks that are involved with the rando, otherwise this would have taken like an hour just to get there. Hey, look, it's Bidoof. Do I still have a Bidoof emote on FFC? Yeah, good. There we go. Yeah, no, that one's not ours. And nicknaming Pokemon will likely be a thing I come back to once I find a name raider, because, yeah. Oh, hey, look, there's our budget Houndoom, rather. But, like I said before, our rules are simply that we're restricted to catching one Pokemon per area. It doesn't have to be the first one. So I'm going to scout for a bit. And we're going to see if we find something that might be a little bit more interesting on account of we already have a fire type. Maybe we could find a better fighting type than this Mankey, who is disappointing. Mantike. Now, I don't really dislike Mantine very much. It's a pretty good Pokemon, actually. But also, evolving that Mantike is going to be kind of a total non-starter in a rando, right? I mean, yeah, if we find some doof, we will catch the doof if we find a doof. And then what will happen is that it will replace Mankey in the register. We could probably just catch the Scorpy, but I'm not sure if that's what I want. I'm going to continue scouting here. I like Drapion quite a bit. It's a pretty decent Pokemon. Drapion. However you pronounce the weird purple thing. Switch the Ninetales up to the front, and yeah, have a continued browse here. Oh, Tentacruel. Yo, that's a pretty cool Pokemon. I mean, it's not using the Gen 1 sprite, unfortunately, so it is kind of like slightly less cool than usual, but otherwise... Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, speaking of which... Let's link the edit that I did like a couple of... I almost... Yeah, copy image link, you fool. Just show this edit that I did a couple of weeks ago. For anybody who had seen that I did something like that. Because the Gen 1 sprite is really, really good. I'm kind of sad they never brought that back. Really? Anyway, I think Scorpy is going to be what we pick up in this particular zone of zones. Zone of other zones. Okay, that's just regular poison. I thought it was toxic poison for a minute, but no, I think that's the poison fang. In a way, I mean, under certain circumstances, yeah. Anyway, that should be enough health to capture this fella. Oh, Poison Tail, not... But didn't it just use Poison I'm an idiot. Whatever, now you have no nickname, apparently, Scorpy, and by that I mean you actually are just back to the default name. What item do you have? You have an Icy Rock. That's not very helpful to me, but okay. Bold Nature, which might just be a neutral nature, I don't recall. Yeah, it's got Poison Tail. Poison Fang is the one that causes toxic poison. Yeah, this is a stacked-ass moveset, but unfortunately I don't... No, it's got balanced attack and special for now, so... It's very potentially feasible that Air Slash could actually be a decent move. I mean, plus getting a rock-type move that early in the game is just kind of good value no matter what. Yeah, now it has something to fight off the other birds with. Well, other birds. Birds in general. Clearly, this is what Tinkaton needs to be able to fight Corviknight. Oh, right. It still wouldn't do, like, any damage. Never mind. I don't think this Solar Beam is too much to worry about. Yeah, only 2 damage, because we're Bug Poison. We double resist that. Okay, it's time for our first trainer battle here. What do you got, buddy? This is going to be the kid who's got like a random... I was going to say random legendary, but it cut ahead for me, so... We've got Claydol, and... Am I going to have to switch for that? It's very possible. Don't automatically take double damage from Stomp. No. No, minimized Pokemon are the ones that do. Hey, he skipped a turn with Splash. Hell yeah. Nice Magikarp impression, buddy. Shatter, however, Jesus, is a flying type move. That's... I didn't know that. Be honest with you. Oh, I could have won that if I had just stuck to my guns, but I'd prefer not to gamble that much. Oh, you have Solar Beam also. What's with all the Solar Beam on this? 2 that we've seen back to back, really, but... Huh. Sometimes the randomizer just gives you very odd results like that. And you'd think with the sheer amount of stuff there is, that wouldn't happen so often, and yet, here we are. Oh, is that another A-Palm? Yes. Of course. Well, I guess at least we can find this in both of these locations for some reason. Okay, can we get this thing without dying? Not likely, but we're giving it a shot anyway. Oh, thank goodness. It seems we're faster, and it wasted a turn with Haze. Yeah! I wouldn't have expected us to outspeed Apom, but Apom does kind of have garbage stats, so maybe it makes a little bit of sense. Alright, what are we getting here? Dunsparce. God, that thing is quite stout. And our Poison Tail is not doing enough damage there, so much for that. Bub-Zero. Unfortunately, all I'm thinking of is Bubsy as Sub-Zero, so no. Oh, right. Okay, I get you. Wants to learn Flash. Okay, actually. Yeah. Let's give up on learning Flash. That's not very useful. I mashed past that a little bit. I'm not always used to the text speed being quite as... immediate as all that. Venonat. We can hit this thing with Air Slash. That's very much thanks to some speed hacks added by the randomizer. Because I knew that this game was going to be slower than shit, so I was like, okay. Give it some things to speed it up a little bit. Let's just go for Stone Edge. Go for Out the Edge. I mean, on some level you can say that. This is always funny. I guess it is. Which is also very strange that it would be roaming legendary stuff showing up this early, because it's the beginning of the game. But yeah. Oh, hey, we found an armor fossil. That's just a free extra party member for us. Cool. That's right, I forgot the fossils aren't key items in this game. Hey, Red Hat, have you seen Barry anywhere? Barents, or whatever his name is. I mean, listen, if Larry is short for Lawrence, then Barry being short for Barents makes a lot of sense. Oh, this guy's an idiot too. Everybody in this region is pretty dumb, if I recall correctly. Yes, I mean, I have thrown balls at trainer Pokemon before, and not just in the Coliseum and XD games. The verse is I mean, I'd assume he just hands me a picture of himself or something. I don't know. Not because I'm lonely, yeah. Whatever you say, dude. Can we see some ID? As he pulls out his clown college diploma, I couldn't think of the word diploma for a second there. At least he's got a degree, you know? Credit where it's due. Oh, hey, look at these goofballs. They're standing further apart because they can trade using Wi-Fi now. Technology is incredible. Oh, yeah. That's okay. We can't do anything with that anyway. And even if we could, everybody would like, hey, can I get a level 9 Giratina? Or Giratina, if you pronounce it like a strange person. Oh, this kid is not going to remember anything on this blackboard. Come on. Hooray, we got a town map. So we can look at the region and be like, oh god, that goes really far. We're going to have to make an obnoxious trek, aren't we? It's alright, this is just a trainer school. We don't have to do anything here. However, we can pick up that iron ball and be like, well... I've got an iron ball for some reason. A Pokemon Watch or Poketch. I complained about this back when I played Brilliant Diamond, I think is the one that I streamed. But I hate that abbreviation so much. Okay, we gotta go look around town and find some actual clowns. I thought the clown trainers were only in Gen 5, so... When I came in here saying that Looker was a clown and his clown college diploma bit, I forgot that he actually could have been a clown. He could disguise himself as a clown elsewhere in the game. Oh. What do you want? Yeah, he's telling me, hey, you gotta gain the ability to touch the bottom screen, you goofball. Well, we can go out of town to the north, so that's neat. Let's catch a Pokemon on Route 204, I guess. When I remember. I still need to poke a friend a little bit and get a little bit more work putting together that design entirely. And then once that happens, a clown emote would probably be pretty high up the list to put in here because it would be very fitting. Let's see what's in this area. We've got a couple of mid-stage grass types so far, which is kind of funny that it's 2 in a row. Although Lombre starting off with Hydro Pump, I mean, that's not accurate necessarily, not as much as we'd like it to be, but that's an incredible move for it. Let's see how tough this trainer is real quick. Oh. Ah, yes, a student of Mirror B's school, huh? Do we outspeed this or not? This might have been a huge gamble, but it has flame body for some reason. Alright, well, I mean, that's one strong pineapple. Fortified with several nutrients. And pineapple. I didn't know Mirror B was in this region. That's wild. Ah, here we go. Here's one more clown. There we go. What are you standing in front of, anyway? Oh, you're standing in front of the company. And that's how you're advertising? You're not going somewhere, actually somewhere in town? Is there something I wanted to... Oh, right, it was the shop I wanted to check out, actually. What do you got? You've got the standard items, and there's an extra salesman here. Do you just sell random items? This must be something that's randomized, right? Because, like, what the hell do you mean power lens and fucking Reaper cloth? Yeah, that has to be added by the rando. I've forgotten a little bit of some of the stuff that I've done with my randomization, so if I seem befuddled by something that I should understand fully on my own, well, that's why. It's not just the usual part of my brain not working, although, let's be real here. That worm-eating piece of shit never did nothing for me anyway, so... Hey, you. I had some coupons, so I got a Poketch. We got ourselves a watch to start with. Let's see what we've got to start with in terms of any of this. Can I... Oh, that just makes it light. It shows our party. There's a calculator. There's just a counter. And it's our party. Well, we can kind of just have that as part of our display, because then people won't have to ask what Pokemon we have when we start, if anyone comes in, you know? Blah, blah. If only I could use my words correctly, but... Ho-ho! Yes! That is huge! Got a lucky egg. Fan-fucking-nominal. Here. Gyarados, why don't you take that? And we'll also put you up at the front of the party. What's going on out this direction? We got plenty of places we can go here. Here, give me your old rod. No, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Route 218. This has no grass for us. So... Right, because that's out to, like, Canalave or something. Canalave? Whatever, it's a place that we don't have to worry about for a good long while. Granted, the way that I'm playing this, we might be lucky to get one badge in, so when I say good long while, I could drag my feet so fucking long that we never even are able to beat the rando. Well... we are going to register that to our Y button, I guess. That one. Nah, let's take another chance at this. Come on. There's got to be something around here. Maybe these ponds are too shallow or something. Ooh, Yanma. Would be nice if I didn't already have a bug type. It's got super luck, though. That's a pretty cool ability. It also has Dark Void. Oh, that's funny. Of course, moves are updated in this, so that Dark Void is a coin flip. I'm trying all of them anyway, just in case. There may just be, like, no old rod encounters in this area. I may end up going with Bayleaf as my Pokemon for the area, but I'm not sure yet. Ooh, we've got Omastar. The Omastar Runner. And it is surprisingly stout. I mean, granted, Steel Wing isn't the most amazing move, but it seems to be doing the job. Dang! 2 whole levels. Yeah, so it's doing neutral damage. Because Omastar is rock type otherwise. Oh, hey, Butterfree. Not an incredible Pokemon. It's an option for me to take, I guess, but I'd have to really use a feather touch about catching it. Badu, that... No. I'm not doing that. That's not going to be the choice. Oh, that's gotta be it. Xatu, I mean, abso-fucking-lutely. Sludge will probably not kill. It'll do a fair chunk as it opens up with a little bit of barrage to start with. Oh, sorry, I'm being told in my earpiece that it's pronounced barrage. I knew that. I was being silly. Oh, gross. No nickname for you, buddy. We do that later. Plus, there's an item for us to pick up over here. A Tanga Berry. I do not remember what the Tanga Berry is. What do you got for me? If held by a Pokemon, it weakens a foe's super effective bug-type attack. Ooh. So I don't have any Pokemon that are bug weak right now, but also I don't think that would be super useful for us just because that would require us having to predict what the opponent does. So... you have Fire Punch. I don't know if you'll live through this, but... to be fair, that was more meant to be set up for the future anyway. Yeah, it's one of those... like, type berries are kind of a little bit odd. Mostly just by virtue of the whole, you need to know what fight is coming, but you can know that a little bit in a non-randomized game. In this case, yeah, things are going to be a little bit more difficult in that regard. That's not the right menu that I wanted to be in. Let's go into... I originally was just going to deposit Mankey directly. But yeah, buddy, you... are getting dropped into the corner here. Oh, this guy decides to fight us. Because of reasons. He's got Tropius here. That's not a huge... Oh, no, it's using Reflect. That's actually slightly bothersome. We might need, like, a third turn to break through this thing. Or possibly even a fourth. I don't remember what trump card is offhand. Is trump card the one that when you've used all of your other moves, or is it last resort that does that? I forget. One of them is kind of like that, and then the other one is that its power goes up as it uses more PP. PP. Yeah. Easy jokes, but listen. Zatu's coming in here to kick some ass in this thing. Oh, holy fuck, that is... That's a pretty strong move, and also it traps, right. Because it's not an upgraded Eruption. It's an upgraded Fire Spin. Let's learn Teeter Dance. Well, I've seen how this thing moves. That makes sense for it, but we're not taking that. That's a little hard to play around, so... Okay. So that one is actually usable in a situation like that to just tap an enemy Pokemon a couple of times if needed. Okay. I actually went to go look it up afterwards, just double check. Because, yeah, I confused that and, well, as you can tell. There's also Final Gambit, which for some reason I lump in with the others, even though obviously that is not the case. And I don't know why I do, because, like... I think maybe because it fits thematically as a name with the other two, if that makes sense. Yo, we found a thick club. Now, if only we could actually find a Marowak. Because if we do, well... There's our team's resident hydrogen bomb in that case. Oh, Ralts. Now, unfortunately, we already have a Psychic type. Otherwise, that would probably be a little bit more on the table. Grumpig. There's a lot of Psychic types out here. Grumpig, as I was saying yesterday, one of those Pokemon that's just sort of like there. Lucky Egg back. Get it over to Ninetales. Oh, hey, it's Don Pardos again. Let's see if... Let's try to scout Rampardos a little bit and see if it's got moves that don't suck. Because with its stat build, it could be quite potent. Assuming that it can actually do stuff. It's got spikes. Spikes is not usually a move that you use very much in single player. But it's got value in certain regards. I mean, I'd rather we had Ceaseless Edge, but hey. Volt Tackle, however, is quite potentially strong. I'm gonna give it a shot here. We're gonna grab this and we're gonna see if Rampardos can be viable for us. Their foot-thick skulls would keep them from Oh, come on. The Pokédex is absolutely lying there. Like... I mean, I guess that if you think about it this way, height 5 feet, and you assume that this is correctly proportioned, the total height of the head is, you know, that's like a third of the body, so that's... Actually, does my cursor show up on here? It doesn't. Okay, so just pretend that I'm circling around the head. But I mean, I guess like, what, like the blue area is supposed to be about a foot long? Is the implication? Because otherwise, like, the suggestion of foot thick, there'd be no space for brain. Not that I think this thing is likely to be very smart anyway, but, you know. Let's not insult the thing that we literally just captured. What you got, champ? Another bold nature. Chlorophyll. Oh, that is potentially hilarious, actually. Megahorn, Spikes, Volt Tackle, and fucking Spatial Rend. Very funny. That's... Unfortunately, it's not like the thing that would do the most damage here, but, I mean... Yes, just pretend I'm circling around the head. Nothing I said about that is weird. Come on. Wait, yeah, it is. Never mind. Forget what I just said. Which, again, everybody basically should in the first place, so... Excuse me. Well... I mean, it does come up a lot, so... Oh, Carnivine, that's it. This is a very funny Pokemon that, unfortunately... Well, Intimidate does make a little bit of sense for it, but unfortunately, Carnivine has just never really gotten anything to make it a good Pokemon yet. One of these days, maybe it will. But until such time as that happens... Someone's up a creek without a paddle. Oh, kiddo, you don't have either a Kricketot or a Zubat. Despite what you're claiming. Oh, you've got Dark. That's hilarious. We've got Aurasphere to take care of it, though. Meanwhile, Darkrai is over here using cock polish. Oh, sorry. I meant rock polish. Granted, that doesn't need my help to make it sound like a euphemism for masturbation, so, like... I don't know why I bothered, basically, is what I'm saying here. About to send in Salamence. Holy shit, dude. This kid's got some really, really good Pokemon. Oh god, yeah, it has, hasn't it? Somebody there was definitely doing that on purpose, right? Had to have been. Meanwhile, switching Skorupi into Mence is probably a bit of a risk, but we should be able to do some good damage here. Oh, are they? I did not know that. At least I didn't know that that was a confirmed fact anyway, I guess. Would be a way to put it. It doesn't really surprise me too much because obviously a lot of people who worked on such materials ended up going into a lot of things that are well, considered more socially acceptable, I guess. I'll take a look in a sec. Because I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I remember that Pardos has got chlorophyll. So I can tell you that immediately, but why not pull up the whole summary here? Got chlorophyll on Pardos. Skorupi has Swarm, which is almost normal for it, actually. Chlorophyll is situationally useful. Really what I want out of it is for it to get a priority move, but hey. Yeah, Skorupi's Swarm is probably not a thing to be concerned about. Trace on Gyarados is pretty good. Synchronize on Xatu, which is like, I think that's vanilla. And Ninetales has Liquid Ooze, which is not very good because that's going to show up very rarely as a thing that will ever trigger. As far as deaths go, I'm not actually Nuzlocke ruling it. I do have an upper limit of 1 catch per area, but I don't want to keep re-randomizing the ROMs, and also I did kind of get like one shot in a couple of places at the very beginning, so I was like, okay. Actually, that's just sort of a thing in general with Rando, is the more you, my controller has decided to stop playing nice. So I may have to reboot the controller. Give me just a sec here to restart my controller. Here's an easy way to do it, just yoink the battery. Basically, the way these games tend to be is that I find that as you go on, the beginnings of the game in Rando tend to end up more frequently just being like crazy levels of feast or famine. To such a level that it can make Rando with permadeath very, very sucky to start. And also, I've just had a lot of experience with the Rando when I've told it to disable things like Wonder Guard and the cheese moves, where it just will forget to do that. So yeah, I'm putting in some personal restrictions, but a lot of it is more based around, you know, I got a couple of limits there just because I'd like to be able to finish this basically by the end of the month kind of thing. Yeah. So I pointedly did not turn off cheese moves, which is absolutely me just asking for shit to hit the fan. Ouch! I forgot I didn't I forgot I don't resist bug. So I ended up encountering a wild Luxray in an area, and it hit me with Dragon Rage when I was still at level 5. So that one's kind of on me, but I did get immediately turned into giblets for that. Yeah, I think Spikes is gonna get left behind here. Spikes in single player, not really my speed, and this doesn't add new moves, so there's no Ceaseless Edge for me to have a source of them. Yes, but it's only super effective bug moves. That wasn't. I just don't resist bug. It's just the fact that Rampardos is just straight up one of the strongest non-legendary Pokemon on the attack side. And it has a move like that. Meanwhile, Rampardos only has attack, basically. That's why it's like, oh, that sounds great. I should probably use it in competitive. You see the other stats, and it's like, oh. Yes. Moves and base stats are updated. So we're playing as though we are using numbers from later games. But yeah, Rampardos is the highest base attack stat of all Pokemon, not counting mythical, legendary, ultra beast, or mega Pokemon. So yeah, effectively Rampardos is the strongest physical attack on any non-legendary Pokemon, which is more or less what I said, but just to clarify that for me, these words mean like, yeah, Rampardos, I still have the page up. It's 58 base speed, which is not much better than what you just cited, but 165 base attack. That's the kind of stat. So, to help clarify, in Gen 1, that level of stat did not exist at all. I'm pretty sure that Mewtwo doesn't even have that much special in Gen 1 by like a nice chunk. The only number that actually gets that high in Gen 1 is Chansey's HP. And we all know how much that matters when you get hit by the Cross Chop. Base 154, okay. So, kind of in the ballpark, but even then, still outpacing it a little bit. But yeah, that kind of physical attack is reserved for, in that era, like, Kingler is probably the closest, I think. At 130, which is still low enough by comparison that you can kind of go, yeah, that ain't nowhere near. Okay, so I'm gonna throw a Volt Tackle. We got okay HP, so we can probably get away with it. Is Kingler 130 like I thought? Let's go look. Yeah, 130. Kingler hits like a truck. It just doesn't get there particularly fast. And I want to say that Kingler is like one of, if not the most powerful by physical attack in Gen 1. And hey, we got ourselves a nice chunk of levels there for all of that HP gambling we did. Yeah, Kingler also is another one of those Pokemon that's slower than dirt, though, for obvious reasons. Carvana is a Pokemon that would be another decent choice for us to have gotten here, but we're trying out the Rampardos. We want to see how good this ever ends up being. Only moving forward or backward. I mean, yeah, if it sidesteps. Give it an evasion ability so that way it can properly sidestep. And hey, look, it's the only fire type in Diamond Pearl that's not your starter. Man, I don't know why they did that still, by the way. Hammer arm, holy shit, that's monstrous. I'll dump Spatial Rend for that. Besides, this thing already moves at a speed of, like, maybe it'll get there in a couple of years. So, big whoop. Ah, dang it. Well, at least you missed, too. Yeah, so basically, I guess what I'm trying to say about Rampardos and its ability to hit things is, think about how, like, the strongest attack in Gen 1 that's not a Mewtwo thing is Articuno's Blizzard. Yeah, I think Rampardos gets Head Smash. Think about how much stronger that is because the margin there, pretty wide. Unfortunately, Articuno is significantly more playable than Rampardos by virtue of the fact that it actually has a speed stat. It's not a great one, if I recall correctly, because the ice... 85. I mean... That's not amazing nowadays, but it's quite good for when it came out, and honestly, it's still probably playable nowadays. It's just that, you know, there's better... Oh, right, they gave its special stat to its special defense. Oh, right. Right. Right, Gen 2 was, like, mean as hell to some of these Pokemon. Tauros got its 70 in special defense. And I mean, listen, 70 special attack wasn't going to make Tauros a real monster, but man, way to just break all 4 of its legs in one go. And here's Tristan, or should I say Tristian, who's got a Doug Trio. Now, I think ground does resist bug, so I'm going straight for the hammer arm. We're giving it the old baking soda treatment. Granted, it's also Doug Trio, so it would probably still die to a resisted Mega Horn anyway. It's not Flare... Yeah. Yeah, Flareon, the Pokemon that never gets moves. Let's switch Skorupi up to the front here. Take that. And hand you over the Lucky Egg. Now, the Zap Plates... I guess I could equip it to Rampardos, because it does have an electric move. It's just that Volt Tackle is not my ideal thing to use, but... that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I'd rather have, like, Thunderbolt on Gyarados or something. Or Xatu, for that matter. Anyway, yeah, I think this is probably going to be a run that at least has, like, a really sick early game, because we got that Lucky Egg right off the hop. You might be thinking, hey, that kid's in Gen 8, not... And I'm just kind of groaning at that joke. This is amazing because I was the one who made it instead of someone else. Where is our Wait, there's clowns in town, so I was going to say something about Kefka, but I guess there's already clowns, so... Close enough, right? Yeah, there's a tunnel over there for us to go through. That's right. You go through the first phase of Mount Coronet before Orberg. Orboro. Orberg. Cacnea! That's a Pokemon. I want to like Cacturn, but it needs some stat redistributions. Toxic Spikes, which honestly, that feels like a very Cacnea move anyway. Or at least regular spikes. Did I miss something up here? I don't believe I did, but let's go for it anyway. I think Stone Edge is our best thing for Skorupi to use against the big dinos. That and praying you don't get hit. Yeah, rocks resist poison, that's right. Not stone. Yeah, okay, I'm done up there. Good. Assurance, I guess, would at least do neutral damage as well. Only 3 damage from that. That's fine. Dang it, we just missed 2 Stone Edges in a row. 3! Come on! It's not that low accuracy. Oh, maybe it is. I missed all 4 of them. Well, at least that doesn't miss. Until we eat some debuffs anyway. Missing 4 Stone Edges in a row is the kind of accuracy you get in competitive Pokemon. Anyway, Skorupi is not going to learn Tail Glow, but I think that's a pretty funny thing for it to attempt to learn. Mostly because it's like, well, okay, it is so tail focused, but it doesn't glow. You put like a lighter in its tail and it will, though. Hey, dude. We got HM6. Now, unsurprisingly, I have put all HMs to being able to be used by any Pokemon, so we don't get caught with our pants down in any locations with no HM users. But obviously, we kind of need the Orberg Gym badge to be able to use that, so... Oh, yikes, that's rather painful. At least on paper. Yeah, we got another couple of trainers here to... We could dodge around them, but... It's fine, probably. Ooh, Metang. A Pokemon that I can... Oh yeah, I've updated the type chart, so I can hit it with Assurance for bonus damage. For boosted damage. However, Shadow Ball is going to give me the business. Yeah, we're not living through that. Not on 2 HP. Oh well. Xatu, come in and clean up. The thing that makes me the saddest about that is the lack of boosted experience that we get. But switching Gabite. And I don't have a counter for Gabite specifically, but I can just hit it with something that does good damage. That will do for now. It is doing some reasonable damage to me, but hey. I will take a look at what we can get Pokemon-wise from this location after we get to Orbor and we heal. Thanks, dude. I've played a Pokemon game before. I don't like that kid. Kidding me? Friends? I don't know that guy. Bullshit. Man. Oh, right, it's just you. I was looking for the shop. Alright. Now, you're gonna be the normal stock, right? Yeah. So that's all the stuff we know. And over here, you have some more interesting stuff. You've got fresh water, which is great for healing. Max revive, and a not very helpful in a shop big mushroom. This focus band can go kick rocks because that thing's not good, actually. It's RNG dependent, so is what I gotta say to that. Oh, hello! That is quite the find. There's a very high chance of Metagross just being the thing that I grab immediately as my free Pokemon here, but I kind of want to scout its moves a little bit. Because it could have just garbage, and then I'll be like, well... Oh, never mind, never mind, never mind. In fact, bro, you could probably replace Xatu. But I am gonna take another couple of pokes here. Ice Fang. It's got Hypnosis, Sacred Fire, Ice Fang. I mean, this is probably already looking like an actually completely fine... It would, like I said, it would probably replace Xatu eventually. Or Xatu would be the one who would be put up next on the chopping block. And plus it gets Magnet Bomb, which gives it a same type attack bonus. Excuse me. So, I made the captures easier in this, but I forget by how much. But it is definitely by enough for this thing to not be box legendary tier of catch rate. In fact, for that matter, I want to go in here and I want to pull up the catch rate chart and I want to read off what still has a catch rate of 3. So we got Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres for their regular forms at least. They are all 25 catch rate in Gale of Darkness. Mewtwo is also a 3, but it has a 20 in Legend ZA. The legendary beasts from Gen 2, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, are all 3, but there are 15 in Colosseum, which, you know, tiny mercy, but that game was definitely a kick in the balls all the time. Lugia is a 3, Ho-Oh also. Meanwhile, the Beldum, Metang, Metagross line, as we saw before, all 20s in ZA, and 15 for Metagross and Kahlo. Regirock, Regice, and Registeel. Latias and Latios. They are 45 in Legend ZA. Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza are in an interesting place because Kyogre and Groudon were 5 prior to ORAS. A lot of that matters. And 45 in Legend ZA. Meanwhile, Rayquaza has been a 45 everywhere that counts after, starting from ORAS, rather. With the possible exception of Gen 9, I think you can catch Rayquaza in Gen 9. I forget. Jirachi, Deoxys are both 3s. The Emotion Trio, so Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. Dialga and Palkia are 3s as of ORAS. Heatran is a 3, but a 45 in Legend ZA, which kind of makes sense. There is a Mega Heatran in ZA, so you would probably want it to be easier. Regigigas is a 3. Giratina, Cresselia, Manaphy, Darkrai, although Darkrai is a 45 in ZA. Arceus, Victini. The Musketeer Trio, Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion are all 3s, although they were bumped up to 45 in ZA. Tornadus and Thundurus, Reshiram and Zekrom, who were 45s prior to ORAS, and then they were dropped for some reason. Landorus, Kyurem, Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect. Keldeo, Meloetta, and Genesect are all 45s in ZA. Zygarde is a 3 outside of ZA, where it's a 255. Diancie is a 3 with 20 in ZA. 45 for Hoopa in ZA, but it's a 3 elsewhere, and the same applies to Volcanion. The Tapu Quartet, Type Null, and Silvally. Those are all 3s. The Cosmog line and the splits to the Sun and Moon mascots are all 45s prior to Scarlet Violet. Sometimes it has to be trade only. Sometimes? Bleh. Anyway, yeah, but they're all 3s now. Necrozma is a 3 outside of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sword and Shield, where it's 255 in both of those. Magearna, Marshadow, Zeraora, Meltan, and Melmetal are all 3s, but 45 in Legend ZA. And then scrolling down to the rest of these that are 3s at all times are Kubfu, the Urshifus, Zarude, Regieleki, Regidrago, Glastrier and Spectrier, Calyrex, Enamorus, a Pokemon that is like the one I've seen the least out of any of them, Enamorus, Koraidon, Miraidon, the Loyal 3, so that's Okidogi, Munkidori, and Pheasantipity, and lastly, Pecharunt. Oh wow, the Treasures of Ruin are the only Pokemon with a catch rate of 6. That's weird. So, it can be obtained in either Scarlet or Violet, but... Or... are there, like, weird rules governing it, or is it just... It depends on the version, because... I think there were a couple of things where there were splits for the legends that you could get in Scarlet Violet with the DLC that were based more on... Like, it wasn't splits between a full generation's worth of Pokemon, is what I'm saying. So, like, one of them, I think, gets the birds, and the other one gets the beasts, or something stupid like that. But yeah, basically, Pokemon that have a catch rate of 3 are kind of rare. And as far as I'm aware... The Beldum line is like the only family of regular Pokemon is what I meant to say, sorry. The only family of regular Pokemon that are like that. With arguably the exception of Meltan and Melmetal, but Melmetal may count as a legendary or mythical. But otherwise, yeah, it's all legends and mythicals. So although Metagross counts as a pseudo-legendary Pokemon, it's still technically normal. Okay, so Corsola is using Thrash. Unfortunately, Magnet Bomb is our best choice against it right now. But it is going to get tuckered out and start taking confusion damage pretty soon, so that's cool. Excuse me. Hey, yeah, there's our standard confusion chance. I didn't look at it. I'll check in a second. I didn't even look at this. The ability is Aftermath, which is monstrously janky, and obviously, under a lot of circumstances, you kind of don't want that. We could have so much better, but we are still using a Metagross anyway, so that's kind of solid. Oh, hey, Infernape. It's another Pokemon that I actually don't have a check to on Metagross. Everything here kind of resists all this guy's attacks, which I guess makes sense in a weird way. It's our check moves. I want to see who's got the best bet. I think Ninetales probably. This thing's fighting type. Oh, hey, Doduo, this thing is actually something that we can bully a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean we do have Ice Fang, so... Alright, fine, let's go annoy this kid. Oh yeah, I gotta go to Orberg Mine. Right. I forgot about that part. So we get to see that all of this entire area is basically, this whole zone is all about coal. For whatever the reason are. Reason is. Reason are, wow. Sticky barb. That is not a poison barb. That's... well, poison barb would be vaguely useful to us, but not the best. Yeah, Staryu. Interesting. Do a ton of shit to get to the proper dungeon. I mean, yeah, a little bit. Oh, Luster Purge. That's quite the move, actually. Wow. Wooper. I do enjoy Wooper quite a bit. Coughing here. How's it going so far? We have not gotten to the first gym leader yet because I keep getting... I'd say because I keep getting sidetracked, but I don't know if that's even the case. It's just that this game is not very fast yet. Hello, Duststar. It is going well, though. And a couple of Machops over here just doing Machop stuff, I guess. Oh, hey, that's the evolved version of the thing that was giving us the roaming legendary pings earlier. That's fun. Do you have moves, Ambipom? Excuse me. It's got Trick Room, which isn't really helpful for in this situation because... Oh, I actually still go faster, never mind. I was expecting that to miss, though, anyway, so... I guess I'll do a quick switch in order to scout this thing a little bit more. I done kind of screwed up. We're gonna do some switching back and forth between our two psychic types for a minute here. Okay, so far it's got Roleplay, Trick Room, Sunny Day, now if you had U-turn, this would actually be really good because we could use it to pivot over to Pardos. But so far, I'm not impressed by this monkey. But I am going to keep switching around to see if we can scout its last move. Maybe that would make it viable. Oh, I looked away from that. But judging by the fact that we just outsped it as we did in Trick Room. Unless it's got like stall or something. Forget it. Let's just... Yeah, forget it. Let's just dump it down the can here. Fight this guy and just get along with our business here. Oh, I was somehow expecting it to die from its own submission recoil. Because, yeah. That would be what would happen to me, that's for sure. Hey, you. That's the gym leader, as you can tell by his unique sprite. He's just in here demonstrating Rock Smash in the middle of a tunnel. And he's just like, oh yeah, by the way, if you beat me. What a weird dude. Anyway, Miss Magius is almost surely going to be the Pokemon that we try to catch here. And by almost surely, I mean... I'm basically just going to go for it, and I'm going to be very upset if its moves suck. So far, it's got Light Screen. It's got Tri-Attack. That's respectable. Okay, it's got a button it can press. So it's mostly just randomized, but I have a specific rule in place of I can only capture one Pokemon per area. But I didn't want to do the rest of the Nuzlocke stuff because basically I just don't want to keep re-randomizing a ROM like 6 times in a stream if something goes really badly. Because yeah, I've had some very awful luck in some of these before. Hell, I got one shot at the beginning of the stream at one point, so that's a big "that's rough, buddy" moment. I didn't want to have to deal with that too much. And yeah, no nicknames this time. Oh, right, you're going to box 18 because I put a Pokemon in box 18 already because of reasons. And I got an old Amber. Now I gotta navigate all these bumpy rocks and stuff. Oh, hey, look, Vileplume, a Pokemon that always surprises me with how capable it is of taking hits. And yet is still never quite good enough for you, right? That feels like there's a small list of Pokemon that just kind of always let someone down. Yeah, no, that one obviously got just evaporated because I used Sacred Fire on it off of Metagross. So the attack damage there is going to be a little bit high, but Vileplume always feels like one of those Pokemon that... So in any game where you have that level of selection of playable character or units or anything like that, there will always be this one that you always see someone else doing really good things with, and then you try to use it, and it does not work. And Vileplume is quite high on the list in terms of Pokemon like that, at least in my experience. Is that it just... I see people use it and they do good things with it, and then I try to use it and it's like, oh, well, nah. Oh, thank goodness Secret Power doesn't change type. Because I saw that rock animation. And Gyarados is taking a rock slide. Actually, I wouldn't have done that much damage. It's still coming off of Illumize's stats, which are not that impressive. Switch Ninetales up front. He hates me and refuses to work, clearly. I could believe it. Maybe I'm just not actually good at these games in a real sense, but... that's just kind of how it is sometimes. That's a really kind of extreme finishing pose there, I feel like. With the Rattata with its tail all the way up and, like, basically standing on its front legs, practically. Or more like in mid-jump, but nevertheless, it gives it, like, this weird, like, vibe of, like, oh, it should be hanging by its tail. Which doesn't quite fit Rattata. Usually they don't do anything quite like that. They're fairly plain little purple rats. Anyway, I want to go and, first of all, move our box setup back a little bit here. And let's have a quick look at what Miss Magius has going on here. Bashful Nature. Immunity is not the greatest status protection ability, but it does some work. Tri-Attack, Growth, Light Screen, Thrash. This would need some work, but... I mean, Growth is useful to build up a Tri-Attack. Thrash, though, is kind of a dead slot, though, on Mismagius. That would probably be something to consider putting to use once I get access to some more TMs. And let's see what's going on in this gym. Obviously, there's multiple layers here. I just want to take a... Oh, so this doesn't... Does this not go anywhere? Oh, no, you can actually just skip over both of the trainers here if you want to, but why would I do that? That's free experience and just leave it on the floor. Have I played this one before? I'm far more familiar with Diamond and Pearl, is what I'll say. I've played some of Platinum, but I never finished it. I also played both of the versions from the remakes. Those were not incredible. I mean, they certainly remade Diamond and Pearl, but past that, not much more you can say. Yes, I bought the 2-pack for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I only streamed what I believe was Brilliant Diamond, but I did play through Shining Pearl on my own time. Ultimately, though, I really had been hoping for significantly more out of those. But yeah, I streamed Brilliant Diamond much closer to when it was new, so long time ago. Unfortunately, I was quite disappointed by those remakes, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, I guess. Yeah, I just really hope that the Gen 5 remakes, when they eventually possibly happen, aren't like that. Kangaskhan. We do have some fighting moves we can use here. Most notably in the form of Pardos having Hammer Arm, so... Yeah, I kind of assume they have their plate full right now. To be fair, there's Gen 10 that's coming out next year, so they probably gotta hash a lot of stuff out with that. Plus, I'm all for Game Freak taking longer to put these games out, just in general. Or even if it's not Game Freak doing the core dev, just any of them taking time to get things a little bit better quality. Because I don't think there needs to be quite as much of a glut of Pokemon games that are being passed out like that. You understand? Yeah, we're just gonna Aura Sphere this Golduck a couple of times. Remember, Golduck is not Psychic type, even though it looks and sometimes acts like it should be. Future Sight. Might be worth switching out to Metagross to tank that, but they can't really do much about water, unfortunately, so it's slightly problematic. Yeah, it's one of the weird things. One of the many very weird things in the Pokemon franchise. Oh god, yeah, that would definitely cause some problems. So, I'm not like super familiar with a lot of the cards, to be fair. So I can only weigh in a little bit on some of them. That I wouldn't know very well about Psyduck off the top of my head, or a lot of the cards for it. Just that there have been some very odd implementations for certain things in the card game, off and on. Giga Drain. Yeah, we do not have great tech to fight water types, pardon me. Our best bet at this point is, well, first of all, Future Sight is, I think Future Sight does typeless damage, actually. Because we are not resisting that at all, and that's a problem. But Volt Tackle is like our best bet off of this thing, and that does at least hit like a truck, but still. You can tell I'm not a huge fan of recoil moves, even when they are your best bet. Cherubi is something that we can pretty easily take out. I'll have Xatu do the cleanup here, because Xatu is in much better shape HP-wise than Metagross is. And as that Future Sight attack is still coming up... Trick Room. So... I mean, obviously we're gonna be stuck underspeeding it now, right? Well, didn't matter. Leader used a potion. Oh, thank goodness we won the coin flip there. That Zap Cannon would not have been great. But send in Nidoking as the last Pokemon. That is something we're just gonna fight through the poison on this one. We got a couple of things we can use against Nidoking, at least. It is poison ground type, so... it does not really have the most, it doesn't have a double weakness that we can easily exploit, unfortunately. But we can do this instead. And extrasensory. Oh boy, extrasensory, that one move that's like weirdly overtuned for some reason. That move that's like 80 power and 30 PP or something when it was in the first game it was in. Let me double check. This game automates through some of that. Yeah, 80 base power, which is as strong as like most of the moves that we had on there that are good. And 30 from generations 3 to 5. 30 PP. And it has a chance to flinch. And in Gen 3, it does double damage against minimized targets. So, if they had kept that, then it would basically have been like a souped up version of Stomp by a wide margin. Extrasensory is actually like a shockingly useful move. Mega Punch is not going to help for the Pokemon that I was looking for TMs for, but potentially usable. Is anything in our party learn? Yes, so if I really need a normal type... yeah, I don't know why it has that, but it sure does. But later games had Stomp and Steamroller, which is basically just Bug-type Stomp, be able to ignore accuracy checks against a minimized opponent and do double damage. So I'm not sure why they were basically setting up Extrasensory as being this Psychic-type variant of Stomp. Especially not with it being as overtuned as that, because it definitely was a little bit. Let's go check out the museum. I want to you guys happen to know... Oh, you are the fossil guy, so I can literally not actually do that yet. Never mind. Well, good to know that we can come back here later for that. I didn't know if the fossil would be in, like, Canalave or something, but I don't know when that becomes available to us either way. Does anyone here have anything going on here? I mean, yeah, I could go training in the Orberg mine, but I don't know if there's any trainers there, so I can get experience all kind of places, really. I wasn't sure if there was a trade here or anything either, so... Hey, we got a free Great Ball, though. That's nice. Now, of course, we do at some point require Rock Smash. But for now, I'm taking a look at where everywhere is. We need a bike to get up there, and we get that in Eterna City, which I think is through the smashable rocks in the Orberg tunnel or whatever it was called. I forgot already. Let's take a look at what's available out here. I'm going to actually run away from things instead of trying to kill them, because our levels are so good right now that over-leveling too much may hinder us in this area. Although, on the other hand, I could probably stand to level up some of my other Pokemon to beyond level 12. But right now, I mean... Honestly, just the fact that we rolled into an early Lucky Egg like that... It's kind of massive. Yeah, actually, you know what? I am going to fight this guy the normal way. Wheezing, and it's got Draco Meteor. That is a bit of a shock. Drifloon. I do kind of like Drifloon and Drifblim a little bit, so let's do some switch scouting here. Pin Missile. I feel like we've seen a fair bit of Pin Missile already. What else do you got? Oh, just more of that, apparently. Everything is set so that way it starts with 4 moves, by the way, so... For anyone who's thinking, oh, well, it shouldn't have that many moves right now anyway. No, I gave the Pokemon more moves to start with, so that way they'd have a better chance of having something usable. Nightmare. That is a very rarely seen move. Bubble Beam. I mean, that's actually kind of something we could use right now, so... I'm gonna just try to put it to sleep and throw balls at it. And it's got block otherwise. Well... Not a lot of, like, high-value moves here, but Bubble Beam is definitely kind of up there. So that's a good start for us. Neat. Yeah, you're probably going in there unless you have an ability that absolutely makes you not good. But that's not terribly likely. It's Quirky Nature, Water Veil. That's... Huh. A rarely seen ability, I think, but not necessarily one that's super high value, to be fair. So, Xatu, you're going back in the box for now. Oh, yeah. Go here first. Okay. Now that we've done all that, there is actually still a location I want to check out. Yeah, alright, kid. Calm down. No more caffeine for you, buddy. Oh, you're still here. A pal pad? I guess that's our friends list thing. Well, I can't do online stuff anyway, so... That'd be a little bit rough. Yeah, we got the this must be our first encounter with Team Galactic as an actual team. Other than just the boss who was out there and we didn't know what their deal was. So was it sort of necessary for us to come this way, I guess? Perhaps it was. Okay, yeah, and Lucas got the third starter, so he's got Clamperl. Our Drifloon is obviously not going to do a whole lot of damage here. So we can switch out for Metagross, who can easily take care of that Scizor. And the Pineco, too, but the Pineco is not as strong as all that, relatively speaking. Yeah, I think Lucas has got that thing with that. I mean, it might take a couple extra turns, but it'll be fine, surely. Oh, hey, since I went to check, because we saw Nightmare being used by Drifloon, Nightmare has been removed from the game as of Gen 8. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I literally haven't seen it since then, but also I haven't seen it since Gen 2, basically, so. I understand. So that is surprising, but it's also kind of in this area of like, well, I don't think I knew it was still there anyway, so. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely make sense for Darkrai and for a couple of the other Pokemon whose whole bag is inducing sleep. But otherwise, extremely rare. There's a TM for it in Gen 2, which is TM50. I was about to say, I think that's the one that you get from Ecruteak City, but that's not true. And there's a move tutor in Pokemon XD that can give it to you. But then otherwise, it's learned by like less than 10 Pokemon total. So. Huh, that's an interesting choice. I have never played Pokemon Unite. Ah, yes, the fashion case. This is, I think, entirely a contest thing. I don't think the extra customization shows up on your Pokemon anywhere else. Which means that it's probably not going to get a whole lot of use from us. Building around having your Pokemon be good at battling and having them be good at contests, they don't really synergize that well. So if you want to have a Pokemon who's really good at contests, it's probably going to be one that is otherwise a bit of a bench warmer. That, and also I don't really enjoy a lot of the mini games for making Pokeblocks and stuff. Okay, we actually can go to the Ravaged Path here. We need Rock Smash for it, I guess, which makes sense. But I think the other place required Rock Smash too, so I don't know which one is the correct direction to go. Or, truth be told, if it really even matters. They could both be just as viable as each other. Oh, right. I forgot in this game. I somehow glossed over it earlier when I saw Drifloon using Bubble Beam. That they changed the capitalization of it in this game now that they've made all the moves not be in all caps. But they didn't change the spacing, which they absolutely had room for. Don't know why that ended up going that way, but hey. Anyhow, it has been just about 3 hours. A little less than that on the emulator timer, but you can see we're getting saving a lot of data, so I would say that would make up for it, but not quite. But yeah, this is the other thing. This, unfortunately, has not been fixed by the speed hacks, is that Gen 4 saving is very slow. And I think over time, it slows down even more. Back when I actually owned copies of Diamond and Pearl, I know that one of them got to a point where I basically got to the saving a lot of data point after taking one step. I think because it tries to rewrite your entire save file instead of just things that have changed. So that might make a little bit more sense.